Hello there, my name is DKH on the AGS forums, and what I have for you today is a sneak peek for Troopers, which is a game that I've been working on for quite a long time, since 2005. And what I'm going to do is just show you what it's all about. I'm just going to play it a little bit, and I'm not even going to explain everything or how I do things, because there's just not enough time. I just want to make this a quick announcement, basically video, a quick look at the thing itself. So I'm not even going to explain too much. I hope you can actually see, if you are familiar with RTS games and even just StarCraft, which is like the strongest influence for this game. I hope you can actually see kind of the things that are going on, but I'm not going to explain them just because it just doesn't work out in a short video format like that, and I've tried. So I should probably mention that this is made by a team. I'm basically the project leader and the programmer, and we have the amazing Ben304 in the team as well. He's doing all the graphics, and he's currently reworking even a lot of the graphics that are already in there. What you see today, by the way, everything's work in progress, nothing is final, so don't get overexcited. And then what we have is, of course, the amazing music by Shiver Me Sideways, amazing musician and great composer, and so that's the other thing. And sorry that I sound a little sidetracked. That's just because I'm very busy trying to play. Actually, it's kind of interesting trying to talk and play a real-time strategy game at the same time. What I'm doing, I said I didn't want to explain too much, but I'm still going to explain just a couple of things. So resource gathering is what I would be doing right now, but I'm not, because I can't, because it's not implemented yet. So what I'm just doing is I'm just pretending like I was resource gathering right here. And these are refineries and power plants. These basically create these two resources for us in the final game. In this version of the game, however, we just get a fixed income just for testing purposes. So don't be overly surprised or whatever, I don't know. So I'm just hotkeying a couple of things. I don't know if you can hear my keyboard, but I was just hotkeying things to number buttons there. And let's see here. We will probably want to expand in the near future, so that's what I'm going to do. Let's just save on resources right now. Our armory is making. This is basically like the barracks, and what I did here is I sent out a scout. This is a scouting. I just told a worker to just move out there and just scout for me. And as you can see in the mini-map in the top left corner, I don't actually have Fog of War implemented, and I also don't have the map 100% done yet. So that's as you can see, it's just the bare bones of I have a main base right here, which is nicely protected surrounded by cliffs. We have an exit, and we have this natural expansion, which we want to expand at in the near future. So our scout arrived in the other corner of the map. Usually this would be where our opponent is sitting, and they would I would be able to see what he or she is actually up to and doing. So that's always useful. So I'm still waiting for the money, which is I think 400 for a headquarter building. Yep. So a headquarter building is just the same thing that we've got here right from the beginning. This is a main building which allows us to make more workers, and then it will also allow the workers to gather resources and then put them in the building itself. So if we make another building, which we want to do right now, right here, bam, it will allow the workers to just gather resources from these crystal formations and gas geysers and then bring them right into this building. So we just finished the armory, so I can now start more units, actual troopers. These are what are called troopers. I can cancel this second trooper and instead make a rocketeer, which is a different kind of unit. And then I also want to be able to make higher tech units, which come from the war factory. Right? I don't quite have the money yet. I have now, so let's just start the war factory, hotkey it, set rally points, which is what these gray lines represent right now. Make more workers once we have the money, because more workers in a game like this equals more money, and that's exactly what you want. Check the hotkeys again. Quickly check up on the worker production in our main base and the progress of the structure being built, the expansion in our natural, and we could just micromanage this scout if we wanted to, if there was actually an opponent in the other side of the map. Okay, Rocketeer is done. We can quickly check out what the Rocketeer looks like. It looks a little different to the Trooper. It has a bazooka. These are actually called rocket grenades. This is the weapon that it's using. They do 18 explosive damage. The Trooper only does 6 but normal damage, and I'm not even going to try and explain to you right here in this video what that all means, but it's all a part of the design of the game, and it's very important and integral that this kind of stuff exists, and you will of course find out what that's all about later on. So our war factory is only half done, so let's just keep on making more infantry. In the meantime, just move or scout if we wanted to. We could just scout more, see more, and just try, and maybe we could even these workers can attack, so we could even be annoying to any opponent units that are flying around in this general area if we wanted to, and once again if there actually was an opponent in the map. So we have quite a bit of money, so let's just add more production facilities, like for example more armories. So I'm just going to add 2 more armories at this point. And you can already see that what I'm trying to, get across here is that you can really develop a build. You can really just memorize when you are doing what, when are you, expanding, when are you adding more facilities. And that's really important once again in a game like this, that you can do that, and that you can actually... Hang on, where's my war factory? There. Okay. So now I have everything hotkeyed properly. Now I can rally it all. It's really important that you can develop a build and that you can sort of figure out what's the most optimal way to get a very quick tank out, or what's the best way to expand really early and get the maximum amount of workers and get the most amount of money for the later stages of the game. That's basically what a RTS game is always about. I have another worker just hanging around here, so now let's just grab a couple of workers and let's just transfer them over to the natural. All the while we will be making more stuff. Now the war factory is actually done, and you can see the updates here just popping in one by one. And the war factory allows us to make a Predator, which is a really cool bike unit, which is a really good scout. It's really light armored but really fast. But if we want to make tanks, we have to make another building which is called the Arsenal. I'm sorry, that wasn't the Arsenal. This is the Arsenal. I'm still learning the hotkeys myself because that's just something you have to do, learn hotkeys if you want to play in RTS. But the hotkeys are really simple and easy to learn. It's basically, this button is always Q, W, E, A, S, D, and then of course Z, X, and C. So I can just cycle through my buildings and just see that I need to make another Predator. I need to queue up another Predator. I can queue up another Marine, Trooper, but I don't have the money, but now I do. And you can see that I'm just basically just working on getting out a cool, good army. I still have the scout, so let's just let the scout return back to home. Okay, so now we have lots and lots of workers. It's not a lot of workers back at our main base, but we can fix that by just sending over a couple more. This unit is currently building the arsenal, which we will then use to make, of course, a tank. I'll just... oops. No, hang on. 4, 5, 6. Okay, just fix my hotkeys again, because I like to screw them up. And the war factory just popped out a second Predator. So these are the Predators. As you can see, they are really, really fast. They are much faster than, for example, the Rocketeer that I've selected right now. And you can really control these very well. Just, if you want to really take on somebody, like a real micromanagement battle where you're really controlling every unit to the maximum of its potential, and that's something that's really important once again for a game like this. And once the arsenal is done, we can finally start the last unit that I want to really show today, and that's the tank. It's done, so let's get that tank producing. And in the later development stages, we will of course add upgrades to this to these kinds of buildings. So you could, for example, purchase upgrades for the tanks that you're making in this building. Right now, it only serves the purpose of just allowing you to make the powerful armored Crusader tanks. Let's make war workers. Let's keep producing troopers. Just rally them all over here. Just, for example, take this army of troopers and just spread them out a little bit, just to make them a bit more well positioned, put them in a much better position, of course, I mean. And let's take the Predators and just move them down here to scout, and maybe take the Rocketeers to support them. This would probably not be an overly good idea in the actual game, but it doesn't matter, this is just a preview. So now the Crusader tank is about to finish, and that's another really cool kind of unit. There it goes. As you can see, it is quite massive, and it is also really slow, but it does 40 damage, explosive damage. It's a Hellraiser cannon that it uses, so it does terrible, terrible damage indeed from that unit. Of course, fighting isn't implemented as well yet, so that's something else that really needs to be sorted out in the later stages of the development.